Just a reminder of the team news. One change for Barca. Pedri in for the suspended Sergio Roberto. So it's Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal. Jules Koundé, Ronald Araujo, Pau Kubasi and Jack Cancelo in the back four. Frenkie de Jong, Ilkay Gundogan and Pedri in the midfield three. Lamine Yamal and Rafinha either side of Robert Lewandowski in attack. And as for Paris Saint-Germain, they make three changes from the first leg. They didn't play at the weekend. French sides in Europe given a rest by the French footballing authorities. Hakimi, Zaire Emery and Barcola recalled. Asensio, Lee and Beraldo drop out. So it's Donnarumma in goal. Achraf Hakimi, Marquinhos, Lucas Hernandez and Nuno Mendes as the back four. Warren, Zaire Emery, Vitinha and Fabian Ruiz the midfield three. Ousmane Dembele, Bradley Barcola and Kylian Mbappe the front three for Paris Saint-Germain tonight. And our referee comes from Romania, Istvan Kovac, a very experienced European official. We'll keep you in touch with events at the Westfalenstadion, where Borussia Dortmund are entertaining Atletico Madrid. The winners of the match we're bringing you, Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, will play the winners of that tie between the German and Spanish side. So every chance of an all-Spanish semi-final, just as there's a chance of an all-English semi-final. And of course we'll bring you Bayern, Arsenal and Real Madrid, Manchester City live tomorrow night across the TalkSport network. But our concentration tonight here on TalkSport 2 is in Barcelona. Xavi once again coming up against his former manager. Xavi was playing for Barca the last time they won the treble when Luis Enrique was the coach. Walsall take the lead against Swindon Town in League 2. Walsall just 3 points off Crawley. Chance of a playoff place still potentially in the Saddlers' hands. I'll keep you updated with any further goals around the EFL, but we're ready for the off in the Olympic Stadium. Barcelona in their red and blue stripes. Paris Saint-Germain, their change strip of all white, get us underway, and straight away they float the ball downfield looking for Bradley Barcola playing on the left of the front three. Looks like Kylian Mbappe is indeed playing right through the centre, with Ousmane Dembele, the former Barcelona man, on the right-hand side of the front three. Marquinhos has the ball for PSG, midway point of his own half, was asked to play at right back in the first leg in the absence of Achraf Hakimi, and didn't seem to enjoy that role very much, Danny Mills.
No, as you said earlier, looked a little bit like a fish up a tree. I've not seen that too often, to be honest.
Depends where you live.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I tell you what I am expecting this game, goals. I said after the first leg, if you're a betting man, get your money on both teams to score, because neither team defended particularly well. 3-2 would obviously say that. I think PSG have to defend much better this evening.
Lewandowski loses possession in the centre circle, and they're trying to get Mbappe in behind. Was he shoved by Kubasi? No, says the referee. And Mbappe, in fairness to him, gets swiftly to his feet at the edge of the D, and Barcelona bring it clear. Whistles around the stadium, 0-0.
Yeah, good strength from Kubasi. Does very, very well there. Mbappe looking to get in behind. Mbappe never really got into the game in the first. Neither Lewandowski. I think Lewandowski had one header.
Here's Zaire Emery charging forward for Paris Saint-Germain. Worked out to the right-hand side, but it won't make its way out to Ousmane Dembele. Now Lewandowski trying to run down the far left-hand side of the field and keep it in play, which he couldn't do. The pole.
He had one header in the first leg on the 6-yard box, and he headed it away from goal.
It does seem extraordinary, doesn't it, that you get a 3-2 scoreline in that first leg, and neither Mbappe nor Lewandowski got involved on the score sheet.
Well, I think they had one shot each.
Yeah.
That's almost the strangest thing within that. But this is starting similar to the first leg. It was, for the first 10 minutes, it was frantic.
Well, it's Paris Saint-Germain that have had most of the territory in these opening couple of minutes. It's 0-0. Remember, it's 3-2 to Barcelona from the first leg, and I'm sure you know by now that away goals no longer count in European football. So the fact that Barca scored 3 in the Parc des Princes counts for nothing, really.
Which I think is right, in honesty. I think we've seen already, it makes for better games. You know, teams are going to be a little bit more attacking, especially in that first leg.
Well, they took it out the EFL playoffs a good 20 years ago, plus that idea. and the playoffs has definitely benefited from him over the years. So here come Paris Saint-Germain with Fabian Ruiz down the left-hand side. Now Barcola, this talented youngster, finds Fabian Ruiz down the left-hand side of the area, checks onto his left, tries to roll it back to the edge of the box. Vitinha tries to drive, it's blocked by De Jong, and Lewandowski again trying to hold the ball up inside his own half. He was fouled, and that's a free kick to Barcelona, just shy of the D, and the Romanian referee wants a quiet word in Marquinhos' ear. 0-0.
I tell you what, I'm not going to mess with that referee, are you? I mean, he's got his sleeves on, he's got some guns on him, hasn't he?
He's a unit, is Van Kovac.
Yeah, he's certainly, it's like, oh, I'm not going to argue you, mate, I'm just going to do as I'm told. But yeah, I think the game has started at frantic pace.
It has.
And it was very, very similar to the first game. And sometimes I think with both teams not as strong as they used to be. I think, when you look at the front players for both teams, that's pretty fair to say. After the first 10 minutes is when mistakes started to happen.
Peterborough 1, Fleetwood 1. Peterborough back level at London Road in League One through their big striker Malik Mothersill, whose goal took them to Wembley in the EFL Trophy that I saw at Blackpool a couple of months back. Barcelona give the ball away just in front of their own defensive third, but Araujo was bailed out by Frenkie de Jong as Barcola threatened to break through the middle. Now once again Lewandowski wrestling for the ball, loses out, and it is again high tempo, and as you were saying watching the first leg, Danny Mills, possession being squandered by both sides rather cheaply in these early exchanges. 0-0.
Yeah, I said it in the first leg. I think Barcelona gave it away more in that game than Sergio Busquets did in his whole career. I mean, it was just sensational. But we've seen it already. Barcelona already, 4 minutes in, unnecessarily giving the ball away 3 or 4 times. You can't do that against quality opposition.
De Jong finds Araujo at midway point of his own half, rolls it up to the half-forward line, very neatly turned out to the right wing by Lewandowski, and it's clipped in field, but it won't find its way through to Barcelona at the edge of the area that Yamal was trying to feed it through back to the Polish striker. But here's Mbappe picking it up on the right-hand side for Paris Saint-Germain, being held up for the moment by Kubasi. And he has to work it back in the end to Hakimi, back in the side tonight. He had to serve a suspension in the first leg. Bolton 0, Shrewsbury 1 in League One. Bolton 4 points off Derby with the game in hand they have tonight, trying to get an automatic spot, but Daniel Udo has put Shrewsbury ahead at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium.
Easy for you to say.
Not always. Here's Dembele getting the whistles you might expect from a former Barcelona player, but he does well to feed it out to the left wing, and Barcola up to the left-hand corner of the area into Fabian Ruiz, who tries to turn and shoot, blocked by Araujo, but it's still with Paris Saint-Germain. Zaire Emery leaves it for Dembele down the right-hand side of the box, gets to the byline and wins the corner kick of Joao Cancelo. First corner kick of the game, and it goes to PSG at 0-0, 6 gone.
Well, it definitely looks like PSG are just going to go for it. Simple as that. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at it and everything and try and get a goal very, very early on.
They only want one goal to level matters. Bit of pushing and shoving. Cancelo and Fabian Ruiz standing right next to Marc-Andre ter Stegen. They're the only 3 players in the 6-yard box. Most others are massed just outside it, but now there's a few others moving in to that 6-yard area. Right-footed outswinger from Dembele into the near post, headed out by Lewandowski. He'll drop out of play 10 yards from the corner flag on that far right-hand side for a PSG throw. 7 minutes gone, 0-0 on TalkSport 2 in this Champions League quarter-final second leg. Hakimi can't get past the challenge of Cancelo, slides in well, brought away for Barcelona down their left-hand side by Gundogan, but he's been dispossessed. And here's Paris Saint-Germain again with Fabian Ruiz. Vitinha chips it out to Nuno Mendes, the left-back, moving forward into the Barcelona half. Out to Barcola, stationed on this left wing, up against Jules Koundé. Elects to roll it back 15 yards for Nuno Mendes. Now Mbappe takes over down the left-hand side. He's past Koundé to the byline, tries to send a cross, and it's blocked by 2 Barcelona players. Hook clear once again. Lewandowski goes down, looks for a free kick and gets nothing from the referee. 0-0. Danny Mills, pounce to my right-hand side.
It's very interesting, isn't it, that referees in the Champions League, the directive seems to be let things go a little bit more. You know, little nudges, little pushes that often we see, and we get annoyed with, if we're honest. You know, given free kicks given in the Premier League, European referees are clearly told, no, don't give those, let it go, let the game flow a little bit more, and I think you actually get a better game for it. But players are surprised because it's almost a different set of rules to what they're used to in club football, in league football.
And we're only a couple of months away from Euro 2024, where that may well bear out with the referees that go to that tournament in Germany. We're there, we're all over it on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Ousmane Dembele treads on the ball.
He's had a Mills.
Goes out for a throw. He's had a Mills moment, as it's known in the trade.
Yeah, he's tried a trick and he's fallen over the ball.
And the Barca fans, who were not enamoured with the way he left the club to go to PSG, he said he was never going there. Then he pitches up. I think Xavi, in his pre-match press conference, said it tasted bad, that move. So the home fans absolutely loved that moment where Dembele lost possession. Free kick being given to Paris Saint-Germain on halfway. It's been a helter-skelter opening 9 minutes. Very little pattern to this game, but Danny Mills, Paris Saint-Germain will at least be content that for the most part they've kept Barcelona out of their half of the field.
And this is the sort of similar to the pattern of the first leg, really. And you can see what I'm trying to say now, that you'd expect at the moment both teams to hardly have given the ball away, to be feeling each other out, but it's sort of mistake after mistake. Give the ball away, no one's getting hold of the ball and dictating the play.
You sense if somebody can have a 10-minute spell, but then I guess Barcelona did have a 10-minute spell in that first leg from 2-1 down. Next thing you know, they were 2-1 up. Here's Barcola for Paris Saint-Germain in the penalty area, left-hand side, being watched by Koundé, tries to wriggle his way past him, rolls it back to the edge of the area. Vitinha tries to tee up a teammate. Hakimi's coming field. Now it's Nuno Mendes. Tries to pass it out to the left-hand side, but he was hurried into the pass by Yamal, and it goes out of play for a Barcelona throw. We played 10 minutes, still 3-2 on aggregate to Barca, 0-0 on the night. Danny Mills.
And there you go, he's just kicked that straight out of play. Which is, you'd expect that from maybe League 2 player under pressure, wouldn't you?
A free kick's been given, a throw-in, forgive me, has been given for Paris Saint-Germain. Barcelona didn't work that very well from their own throw-in, so it's midway point of the Barcelona half, down the near side to us, the Paris Saint-Germain left. Throw taken by Nuno Mendes, throws it back towards halfway, where it's picked up by Lucas Hernandez. Mendes loses out as he was dispossessed very swiftly indeed down that left-hand side by Yamal. De Jong in the centre circle, looks for Yamal, just 16 years young on this near side for Barcelona, 10 yards inside the Paris Saint-Germain half, rolls it back to Koundé. Now De Jong, he's got Zaire Emery at his back, but he nudges De Jong to the ground, and that's a free kick, and Zaire Emery told very quickly by the referee, step away from the ball. Here comes Yamal for Barcelona down the right-hand side, but he's forced to go back once again to Koundé, the right back inside his own half. Now Araujo for Barca, trots into the centre circle with the ball at his feet, then plays it out wide to this near side, the right for Yamal, who cushions a header into his own path. Faced up by Nuno Mendes, goes on the outside of him superbly, across the face of goal, and it's touched in for an own goal. Barcelona extend their aggregate lead. Rafinha's claiming it. I'm not sure whether it actually took a touch of the Paris Saint-Germain defender, but all the credit to Lamine Yamal for the strength to get past Nuno Mendes and fire the ball across the face of goal. It's touched in, and Barcelona lead on the night and on aggregate. 4-2 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night.
Great from Yamal down the right-hand side, does fantastically well. Shows Mendes a clean pair of heels. Struggled a little bit in the first game. Mendes was very, very physical against him, but once he gets past him, you think he's going to pop it across with his right foot. He doesn't. He flicks it with the outside of his right foot. And again, Rafinha's just behind, waiting for the tap-in, and it actually hits his knee.
He knew very little about that, Rafinha. It came off his left knee.
He knew nothing about it.
He was trying to attack it with his right leg, and it came off his left knee. And Rafinha, who scored twice in the first leg, scores again tonight. And now Paris Saint-Germain have got that massive mountain to climb that Adrian Durham spoke about at the start of our show this evening, because they now have to find 2 goals to force parity in this Champions League quarter-final. And after an opening 13 minutes, Danny Mills, in which Barcelona had very little attacking intent, suddenly they're ahead.
Well, I'm not trying to be some sort of clever expert here, but I told you neither team could defend.
And here's Dembele again, not getting the better of his man Cancelo. He tried to go on the outside of that time and just took it straight out of play. Elsewhere in League 2, Notts County 0, Stockport 1. Could be Stockport's title tonight, having won promotion, and Paddy Madden's given them the lead at Meadow Lane.
Well, Yamal did fantastically well down that right-hand side. I said, in the first leg, he looked a little bit nervous at times, which is completely understandable for a player of his age. And Nuno Mendes was very, very physical with him in that game. Got right up again. He's just done it again there.
Well, he's wrestled the ball off Yamal.
He did that a lot in the early stages of the first leg, and it sort of, he went into his shell a little bit. So that run will give him a world of belief and confidence.
Well, the move from Paris Saint-Germain down their left-hand side came to nothing, but Bradley Barcola, who's just 21 years young, scored once in the Champions League this season, was a Lyon player before he moved to PSG, preferred to Marco Asensio, who definitely didn't have a good night in the first leg, playing as a false 9. But a wasteful crossfield pass from Barcelona gives PSG a throw again, midway point of the Barca half, down the Parisians' left-hand side, as we approach the quarter-hour mark on TalkSport 2. Barcelona 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0, 4-2 on aggregate then to Xavi's team. But here's Barcola receiving the ball left-hand side, and a lovely reverse pass gets Fabian Ruiz away. Level with the edge of the area, looking to take on Pedri. He's got past Pedri for the moment, and then Araujo just takes the ball off him very cleanly, and away comes Yamal, but backtracked the defender Barcola and put it out of play for a Barcelona throw. 1-0 the score on the night, 4-2 on aggregate.
But you understand what I said now? I said the first game was frantic, was chaotic, no real quality. Nobody dictated the play, no one controlled the game. It was very, very much like this, end to end. Yeah, it's turnover of the ball, incredibly. Turnovers were enormous for 2 teams of this quality, and exactly the same thing is happening here this evening.
When you consider the talent that's out there, it is surprising. It is like a League One game.
Well, Gundogan's hardly touched the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and you would think, you know, as the experience, as the leader,
the ball's like a hot potato.
Yeah, in that midfield. You're now 1-0 up on the night, 2 goals up on aggregate. Barcelona just need to put their foot on the ball, calm things down a little bit.
Yes. But instead, here come Paris Saint-Germain again, looking to find their way back into the game. Coutinho carrying the ball downfield a good 40 yards. Finds Barcola, left-hand corner of the box. Further down the left-hand side of the area, Fabian Ruiz, cross to the far post, flicked away by Cancelo. Will it go out for a corner? Yes, it will, off the corner flag on that far side of the field. PSG's second corner of the night. They trail by a goal to 0 and 4-2 on aggregate. They've taken the corner short to Hakimi, right-hand corner of the area. Plays the cross in. Mbappe, well, heads it with the top of his head, way over the crossbar. And he wasn't really marked there, Kylian Mbappe. He'll be disappointed with that effort. It's a goal kick to Barcelona, 1-0.
It's not his greatest strength in the world, is it? You know, heading the ball. But that's a free header. He's got to do better in that situation. You still expect him to at least hit the target.
Reminder that Mbappe has scored 13 goals in 11 Champions League knockout ties. He's not to be trifled with, even though he didn't score in the first leg. 17 minutes gone. Barcelona holding sway then, but not in control, as you've heard Danny Mills describe. It's not a controlled lead they have here, it's a very chaotic lead.
And this is why I also said that Manchester City must be watching this, Arsenal must be watching this and thinking, if we can get through, I think that the winner has to come from the other side of the draw. I cannot see these 2 teams going all the way. I don't think they'll be defensively strong enough.
And the other 2 teams in this half of the draw are still 0-0 in Dortmund. It's Dortmund 0, Atletico Madrid 0, so Atletico still 2-1 up on aggregate from their first game of the Wanda Metropolitano.
The commentator last week, obviously Atletico were 2-0 up, and I went, if there's one team that can keep a clean sheet, it's Atletico. And within about 10 seconds they conceded, but I think, this half of the draw, I think is much, much weaker.
Now Dembele trying to stretch his legs on the right hand side, couldn't get past Cancelo and Kabassi, who put it out of play. And Kabassi's, I think he was accidentally trodden on by Dembele as he slid the ball out of play for a throw, and that's just going to add to Dembele's pantomime villain status amongst the supporters. Big goal in the Championship. Southampton lead Preston by 1-0. Che Adams. Southampton 7 points off second with the game in hand. Played just 41 matches, 5 to play. They could still have a say in automatic promotion, the Saints, and they lead at St Mary's. Stockport County 2 at Notts County, and it's another for Paddy Madden. Barcelona win the ball back down the left hand side of the area. Rafinha tries to slip it in to the area for a terrific run from Gundogan, who made his way to the box, but Donnarumma, who was another player that looked besieged by doubt in the first leg, slides in and puts it out of play for a Barcelona throw, which has been taken from the wrong place as far as the referee is concerned.
Yeah, Donnarumma made some huge errors in that game as well. Again, uncharacteristic, I know he's young, but he's got so much experience.
Well, 108 appearances for Barca since he moved from Milan, and 61 caps for his country. So you're right, he's not inexperienced, but he did not cover himself in glory in the first leg, Gianluigi Donnarumma. And they've got Keylor Navas as another goalkeeper. Lovely cross from Rafinha into the box, only half lived. Lewandowski fires over wastefully. Big chance for the big man to extend Barcelona's lead on the 20-minute mark, but he just couldn't keep the shot down. And PSG have a goal kick at the end of it all. 1-0 Barca.
He's got to hit the target. Again, not sure what sort of defending that is. Is it Mendes just swings a right foot at it? It goes straight to Lewandowski, 13-14 yards out. Leans back and hits it over the bar. He's got to hit the target from there.
That must have grazed the crossbar on its way over from Robert Lewandowski. Crawley 0, Barrow 1 in that battle to hold on to a playoff spot in League 2. Barrow lead through Emile Aqua. But Barrow starting the night 1 place ahead of Crawley. So the Sussex club having a bit of a blip at the worst possible time. Paris Saint-Germain trailing here, and they've won a throw as Nuno Mendes hit the ball against Lamine Yamal on this near side. 21 minutes gone on TalkSport 2 in this quarter-final second leg. Ian Danter and Danny Mills with you, with both English clubs in action tomorrow night. Arsenal with that 2-2 scoreline go to Bayern on TalkSport tomorrow evening at 7. Manchester City entertain Real Madrid with a 3-3 scoreline from the first leg. That's here on TalkSport 2 at the same time. Barcelona win the ball back inside the PSG half, but strong header clear from Lucas Hernandez, but it comes back Barcelona's way down the left-hand side. Cancelo can't make his way further down that left-hand side, so it's turned back in field to Marquinhos, who looks for his goalkeeper Donnarumma, who doesn't just hoof it downfield. He gave it to Nuno Mendes, but instantly Yamal, who claimed he won a throw off Nuno Mendes, but nothing doing, says the referee. You're listening to Barcelona 1, PSG 0 in the Champions League, live on TalkSport 2 with Village Hotels. Visit villagehotels.com.
It's a fantastic game to watch. It is end-to-end, it is frantic. I think you just have to get your head around that it's not the Barcelona and PSG of old. And the quality, although they have some quality players out there.
What would it be like to play in, Dan, if you were out there? It'd be doing your head in, wouldn't it?
Well, the Barcelona that I played against, we didn't touch the ball for 65 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was the difference. Xavi played in that game, Luis Enrique played in that game. And literally, we did not get out of a half for 60 minutes, I think. And we're 4-0 down very, very quickly. it's not that type of Barcelona team anymore. They don't, against the bigger teams, they don't dictate. They aren't able to just keep the ball and pass it around at will like a Manchester City now are.
Mbappe trying to get into the game. It might drop for Zaire Emery in the centre of the Barcelona half. Tries to feed it out to Dembele. Won't find its way out to him. De Jong wins it back and clips the ball down the left-hand side, asking Rafinha to give chase for Barca. But that drifts out of play for a throw to PSG. Still 0-0 in Dortmund between Borussia and Atletico Madrid. So still 2-1 to Diego Simeone's side in that other quarter-final second leg.
I'm going to guess possession stats are Dortmund probably about 80% in that game.
Quite possibly. Dortmund having a strange old season in the Bundesliga, and of course Bayer Leverkusen now champions of that division. You'll hear their game against West Ham. TalkSport 2 Thursday night in the Europa League. Bayer with that 2-0 lead they got in the first leg in Leverkusen. West Ham beaten by Fulham on Sunday in the Premier League. Here's Barcola for Paris Saint-Germain, carrying the ball deep into the Barcelona half. Tries to square it across the edge of the area for Fabian Ruiz, but it was touched behind. So a third corner of the half for Paris Saint-Germain, but they trail by a goal to nil. And Dembele, who's gone across to take the corner, gets the whistles. Scored a cracking goal in the first game, and Dembele plays it into the near post, but again just a delight for home fans. He gets it all wrong and he goes straight to the side netting at the near post. Not enjoying himself out there, Ousmane Dembele, so far.
How much they pay for him? I mean, and just kicks the corner straight out of play. That's really poor.
It's a goal kick to Barcelona, which I'm not sure whether they're going to take it short. Araujo just rolls it to Ter Stegen, who gets to the edge of his area, then clips it up to the halfway line, but it drifts beyond Lewandowski.
It almost looked like toe punted that, didn't it? It's a very strange flight of the ball.
Bolton Wanderers 1, Shrewsbury Town 1. Cameron Jerome, veteran EFL striker, has equalised for the Trotters. It's 1-1 there up in Bolton. Here's Barcola for Paris Saint-Germain. Good ball down the left-hand side to get Fabian Ruiz away. Pedri going with him. Fabian Ruiz holds the ball up for a moment, plays it infield to Mbappe down the left-hand side of the box, trying to make room at the byline. Gets the cross in, headed up in the air by Araujo. Poor clearance originally, but it will drop for Nuno Mendes, who nods the ball cleverly past Yamal and then tries to go on the outside of Pedri. Does well, Nuno Mendes, and wins a corner. Well, actually, it's come off Nuno Mendes last of all. It's actually a goal kick, but that was good, tenacious work by the Paris Saint-Germain left-back to try and get an opportunity going there.
It's just brilliantly frantic, isn't it? It's just incredible at the moment. You know, again, I don't think either team has had a strong more than 5 or 6 passes together, you know, in one go.
Barcelona 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0 on the night, 4-2 on aggregate to Barcelona. You're listening to TalkSport 2. Paddy Madden's got a first half hat-trick for Stockport County as they lead 3-0 at Notts County. They are going to be champions tonight of League 2. Here's Dembele up to the edge of the area, tries to whack it goalwards, and it comes off the back of Joao Cancelo and drifts out of play for a throw-in. Shrewsbury are back in front at Bolton. Cameron Jerome had only just equalised for the Trotters, but the Shrews, who've got very little to play for, although they are only 6 points ahead of Port Vale in the final relegation spot, are back in front.
Sometimes that's the way, though. You get those odd results at this end of the season because teams suddenly can relax with no pressure on.
Here's Barcola for Paris Saint-Germain down the left-hand side of the box, rolls it back, and it's driven goal was great save. Mbappe denied by Ter Stegen, who plunged to his right. Mbappe sliding in 10 yards out, must have felt certain he was going to score. Saved by the German, but it's a corner. Taken quickly down the left-hand side. Dembele, right-footed in-swinger. Attempted flick on by Zaire Emery. Mbappe heads it goal, was cleared off the line. And away come Barcelona.
Are we in the last 5 minutes, Dan?
It feels like it.
It's just absolutely ridiculous, isn't it?
Rafinha tries to drive it infield from the counter-attack, and it's put out of play by Hakimi for a throw. Well, Ter Stegen made a great save initially. Barcola pulling the ball back intelligently for Mbappe. Great strong wrist from the keeper, and then from the corner the ball was headed up in the air by Araujo. It was definitely on target from Kylian Mbappe, but he was denied by Jules Koundé, who headed clear, because I think Ter Stegen was beaten.
I think we can say though that heading is not Mbappe's strongest asset. I think that was a little bit off the top of his head. The shot before that, he didn't quite catch cleanly. I think that just gave Ter Stegen the opportunity to get down and push it away with his right hand. Just gave him that very split second to see it. So often you see those as they get cut back, zipped in at the near post. I'm sorry, he should get beaten at the near post, but the keeper just simply doesn't have time to react. Because he doesn't catch it cleanly, he's able to save it.
That's the voice of Champions League semi-finalist Danny Mills on TalkSport 2. Here comes Paris Saint-Germain. Barcola brought down. What's he going to give here? He's given a free kick just outside the area, and a red card for Ronald Araujo. A straight red card for the Barca centre-half for denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity, as suddenly Bradley Barcola was played behind. He was roundabout level with the penalty area when the challenge happened.
I think this might be overturned, Dan.
And Araujo is wagging his finger saying, no, 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 that was not a foul.
I'm not convinced.
He puts his arm into Barcola's shoulder.
There's a high bar. That's not a penalty. Well, it's not a free kick, sorry.
He's given it as a free kick, right?
Yeah,
because the challenge definitely starts outside the area.
No.
Is he denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity? Now, VAR in Nyon in Switzerland will surely get involved in this. The referee looks to be quite adamant that his decision is final.
Well, no one's going to argue with him.
Well, you mentioned it before. He's a tough man, Mr. Kovac. And he's explaining to Araujo, who's still refusing to leave the field, that he has got to go. And suddenly Paris Saint-Germain, if this decision is upheld, a massive, massive opportunity for Luis Enrique to put one over on his former employers.
Yeah,
but they would still have to find goals.
I don't think it's a foul. I don't think there's enough in that to say that that's a foul. We're still sort of waiting for the VAR checks. There's been no replays on any screens, no information.
The referee is saying to Araujo, I'm in charge, get off. And Araujo is still arguing the issue.
Very little information.
And he stares at the referee as he suddenly and finally turns away in exasperation and moves toward the near touchline. We're seeing a replay of the incident again. Certainly Barcola might appear to have had the beating of Araujo for pace. That's why he put the challenge in. Was there enough on the challenge for Barcola to go down? The referee says yes, and that means a straight red card for the Barcelona centre-half. Half an hour gone. Barca 1, PSG 0, but it's now 10-man Barca who've got to protect this 2-goal aggregate lead that they now have. And it's their former striker, Ousmane Dembele, standing over the free kick at the edge of the penalty area to the left-hand side. A 4-man Barca wall in front of him. Dembele steps up right-footed and puts it wide. So it'll be a goal kick that Barcelona will restart with, and everybody will now just take stock of what's happened, including myself and Danny Mills.
I'm surprised that Mbappe doesn't take this, in all honesty. Can't believe it. A free shot from the edge of the box. You'd think that would be Mbappe's sort of distance, wouldn't you? Try and bend her in the far corner. I think it's very, very harsh. He touches him, but we've already said Lewandowski's had some cruel challenges that the referee has let go so far. There's been other challenges. There seems to be a much higher bar in European football. Having said that, VAR also seems to have a higher bar, and they tend not to get involved. They don't like to overrule the referees, do they? They would rather stick with the on-field decision, whether we think it's right or wrong.
They take a look at Isvan Kovac and go, I'm not arguing with him either, same as you.
But I think we've seen that in Europe already. If the referee makes the decision.
Now Mbappe trying to get in behind Koundé. Great interception from Jules Koundé, sliding in, because Mbappe just for a second looked like he was getting through. Meanwhile, Southampton have gone 3-0 up in short order against Preston in that one championship game. Che Adams got his second of the night, and Stuart Armstrong has just scored the Saints' third. Do not rule them out.
No, what are they now? 4 points behind.
Yeah, and don't forget their final game of the season is at Leeds United. Fabian Ruiz with a cross from the left-hand side.
Have they got Leicester to play as well?
Yes, I think they have, yes.
They got a huge save.
Now, Araujo is still watching on from the sidelines. I think the laws state that you're not allowed to watch once you've been sent off. You have to disappear back to the dressing rooms, but Araujo is having none of that. Incidentally, it was Jordan Shipley that scored Shrewsbury's second at Bolton to put them 2-1 up. No signs of Xavi making any defensive substitutions. Of course, he can't call on Andreas Christensen tonight, who came on in the first game because he picks up a booking and is therefore suspended. But he is going to make a change now. Inigo Martinez is going to come on, and the player that's having to make way is the 16-year-old Lamine Yamal. And I guess in terms of experience, that's no great surprise. That's no reflection on the youngster.
Oh, not at all.
But Xavi's just got to do something.
It'll hurt, and it's never nice to be brought off, early on in a game. But he has to, at this stage, in a game of this magnitude, 1-0 up, 2 on aggregate, a man down, you need all the experience you can get.
Borussia Dortmund lead Atletico. They brought the tie level at the Westfalenstadion. Julian Brandt, with 10 minutes to half-time there, makes it 1-0 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. Here on TalkSport 2, Barcelona lead 1-0 on the night and 4-2 on aggregate, but crucially, they are now down to 10 men after Ronald Araujo's straight red card. How clever do Paris Saint-Germain box from this point on now? Barcelona players just gone down off the ball. Lewandowski after a challenge from Achraf Hakimi, his former teammate of Borussia Dortmund, let's not forget.
He's holding his head, isn't he? We need to see it again. The referee's given the foul.
Now, you wonder from this point on how much they just collided. There was really nothing malicious in what Hakimi did. Just trying to run back into a defensive position, and Lewandowski almost tried to hold his ground like a basketball player trying to draw a foul.
Lewandowski tried to block him, didn't he? From advancing. Didn't move, and Hakimi just sort of bumped into him.
But maybe that's the tactic. Barcelona to try and get an even game out there.
They are going to have to slow the game down as much as possible, try and keep the ball better than they have done. They're going to have to ride their luck at times. I'm expecting it now to be one-way traffic.
Barcelona won a free kick after a fairly hefty challenge from Lucas Hernandez on the halfway line. So the change has been made. Inigo Martinez, who came to Barcelona in the summer after really 5 years at Athletic Bilbao. 3 appearances in the Champions League so far this season for Barca. Martinez, so he's gone straight in at centre-half in place of the sent-off Araujo. Hakimi for Paris Saint-Germain. Adds to Dembele, stationed on the right wing. You always don't need me to tell you when Dembele's in possession because of the reaction from the supporters around the stadium that I'm sure you can hear. Mbappe now picks it up left-hand side for Paris Saint-Germain, desperate to get themselves at least level on the night before half-time and get back within a goal of Barcelona on aggregate. Dembele again, level with the edge of the area, right-hand side, skips past his man, pulls it back from the dead ball line, he kept it in play, but he couldn't find a teammate, and Cancelo looks to bring it away for Barcelona, clips it down the left-hand side, but nowhere near the intended target of Rafinha. And that's what happens when you get a right-footed player playing at left-back. Sometimes those balls downfield don't find their target.
I think now it's just going to be an onslaught. It's going to be wave after wave of attack from PSG. Barcelona might have to resort to hitting a few longer balls, which they did actually in the first leg. They were quite happy to do that, try and get Rafinha in behind it, especially with his pace, and Yamal obviously has now gone off. But I think it's going to be very, very difficult now.
Luis Enrique, just on a bark-out instructions, barged into Jules Koundé, the Barcelona right-back by accident. He did apologise, Luis Enrique, in fairness to him.
I thought he had better vision than that.
Well, he was quite the player, wasn't he?
Oh, some player.
And he was quite a manager at Barcelona, led them to the treble 9 years ago, and Xavi was his captain when they won the Champions League in 2015. That was the last time Barcelona lifted the old trophy. Dembele again gets no change out of Cancelo as he charged down the right-hand side, and then Hakimi brought Cancelo down. Free kick to Barcelona, and at this moment in time, Danny Mills, they lead 1-0. They're a man down, but they're 4-2 up on aggregate. They're actually managing this stage of the game quite well.
They're actually calmer now. They've gone down to 10 men, aren't they? You know, they're not so frantic, Barcelona. I think they've accepted that, okay, we're a man down. Let's try and calm it down. Let's try and take the sting out of the game. Take our time over free kicks. If we have to play long at times, we'll do that. And they actually look a little bit more secure at the moment.
That's Danny Mills alongside me, Ian Danter, on TalkSport 2. 38.5 gone. If you're just tuning into Champions League Live here on TalkSport 2. Barcelona, a goal up but a man down. They have a 4-2 aggregate lead at the moment, through that Rafinha goal early in the piece. Dortmund have just scored a second against Atletico. They're now ahead on aggregate against Diego Simeone's men. Could be Ian Matson on loan from Chelsea. Here comes Barcola across the basic goal. Dembele turns it in against his own club yet again. The law of the X strikes against Barcelona.
Hang on.
And Kylian Mbappe gets a booking, and so does Inigo Martinez for a bit of afters after the ball went into the net. But what matters is the man who put the ball in the net was the man that's been cheered since minute one. But Ousmane Dembele on the right hand side latched onto Barcola's cross from the left hand side of the area. Everybody missed it. Great finish on the half volley by Dembele into the roof of the net. And PSG are level in this first half on the night. Now back within a goal of Barca. 1-1.
What a finish this is. It comes from the left hand side all the way across the 6-yard box. It's a difficult ball. It's bounces twice before it gets to him. He has to take it on the volley. Cancelo sliding in to try and put him off. There is a goal check. I've no idea what for. Looked perfectly good to me. I can't see. Yeah, check over. Goal given without a shadow of a doubt. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now you see, that's the VAR I can get on board with.
Yeah.
When they have a look for 10 seconds and decide.
Well, I couldn't see anything in there that even was potentially debatable within that. But it's a fantastic finish at the far post.
Only his third goal for Paris Saint-Germain since his move from Barca in the summer, and his second goal came last week in the first leg.
It's a difficult finish as well. It's bouncing up, it's on the volley. He does incredibly well to control it.
Here he is again, Dembele trying to slide it down the right hand side of the box for Hakimi, who was on the underlap, but Barcelona get it clear, and now the game is on. The game is really on. Barcelona still have that one goal advantage. It's now 4-3 on aggregate to Xavi's men, but they've now got just over 50 minutes of football to play out with a man down and a Paris Saint-Germain front line that looks hungry for more.
Well, the bookies won't thank me. I did predict both teams would score. Although after the last leg,
you'd have got short odds on that. I can't remember what Alex Dunn said from William Hill.
No, it would have been about 500 to 1 on, I think. You wouldn't have got huge odds on that.
No.
But it just goes to show that neither team can really defend. And it have stayed at...
Mbappe going through the middle, takes the ball down on his chest. He was well dealt with by Kabasi, whose credentials as a young centre-half are going to be tested severely from this point on. At just 17 years of age in his breakthrough season, he's going to have to play really well alongside the substitute Martinez to keep Paris Saint-Germain out anymore. Here is Zaire Emery, finds Dembele, brings it down right hand corner of the box, faced up by Cancelo, rolls it back to Vitinho, who tries a shot from the edge of the D that whistles over the bar, and it's a Barcelona goal kick. 1-1 on the night, 4-3 on aggregate to 10-man Barcelona.
I think Barcelona will take that. That's not a huge issue, shooting from 25-30 yards. We've just seen a replay of was it onside or not. Yes, by about 2 yards.
Yeah,
I think you can even see that with the naked eye. We don't need 3D imaging for that one, do we?
Not at all. The semi-automated offsides it's something that's been brought into the Premier League, although midway through next season. Why they can't bring it into the start of the season so it's a level playing field for the whole campaign is, I've no idea.
Because it's the Premier League and we like to do things a little bit differently.
They certainly do.
No, but I think, you know, the 3D imaging is fantastic when it's tight. When it's really that waterfall or pane of glass, whatever you want to call it, gives you a real clear image rather than those stupid red and blue lines that we see from week to week. At least you get a proper idea of what body part is offside.
2 minutes to half time. Rafinha was barged into by Nuno Mendes, so Barcelona get a free kick just inside the PSG half of the field on the Barca right.
Bonkers game, though, isn't it, Dennis? Exactly. The first leg was exactly the same. It's just like you've got no idea who's in control of this game, no idea where the next goal is going to come from.
I think the quote that I've used before is the ball's going to need a paracetamol at half time, because it's just getting whacked and kicked everywhere without, at times, a great deal of finesse, but at other times there are some sublime touches out there, not least that finish from Dembele that's brought Paris Saint-Germain level on the night. And here they are again with Barcola down the left-hand side in the last minute of normal time. Skips inside Koundé, still going Barcola, volleys it across the face of goal. Dembele couldn't get on the end of that. That was just hit too fiercely by Bradley Barcola. But this is, as Danny Mills has said, the pattern of the game that we're likely to see for the rest of the game. The front three of Barcelona testing, the front three of Paris Saint-Germain rather, testing Barca's backline time and again. 1-1.
Although Ter Stegen still really hasn't been tested, is he? No, I think he's had one save to make. Okay, it could do absolutely nothing about the goal at the back post. Fired into the roof of the net. Fantastic volley from Dembele. But apart from that, he hasn't really had a save to make.
Goal kick downfield from Ter Stegen. Tries to get Rafinha away, but Fabian Ruiz did really well. But then he clattered into Pedri on halfway. And that's a free kick Barcelona's way, as we're about to move into added time at the end of this first half. Be interested to see how much the Romanian referee has added on. 3 minutes is what he's elected to add on at the end of this first half. And this is anybody's. I could see any result happening at this point. I can see extra time, Danny. I can see Barcelona hanging on somehow at this scoreline. Booking for Fabian Ruiz, incidentally.
You can see PSG getting another one and then running away with it and scoring three.
Yeah, anything is possible the way this game has developed.
And this is why I think the other half of the draw will be looking at these two games and thinking, yes, if we get to the final, we should win it.
Dortmund are 2-0 up against Atletico Madrid on the night, so they lead 3-2 on aggregate in the Westfalenstadion, and they're in stoppage time at the end of that first half as well. Bit of treatment for the Barcelona player, which will eat into these 3 minutes of added time, which have already begun. So there's going to be a bit more than the 3 before the half-time whistle goes. Rafinha back on his feet.
We're just getting another look at the goal on the monitors.
Yes, the Barcelona goal where Yamal outpaced Mendes, played it very carefully across the face of goal with the outside of his left boot, and Rafinha put it in with his left knee. When he was going for the ball with his right leg, knew nothing about it, but he celebrated it anyway, as you should.
Oh, definitely. It was a swing and a miss, wasn't it, with his right foot? Hit his standing leg and went in. It's not how, it's how many. He's got one, that's not a problem.
Pedri's got a marshmallow up his nose.
Yeah.
There's a bit of blood from...
a flump.
A flump up his nose from the contact that brought that free kick.
I think Nuno Mendes was expecting Yamal to cut inside, which is what he did a lot in the first game. But this time he used his pace down the outside, and we're expecting him to whiz it across maybe with his right foot, but he doesn't. He uses the outside of his left foot. Very, very clever play from the youngster to create the goal.
1-1 on the night, 4-3 on aggregate to Barcelona, but they're down to 10 men, remember. 2 minutes of the additional 3 have been played, but there'll be a bit more to come because of the delay with that injury to Pedri. Dembele, who equalised for PSG, receives the ball right-hand side, clips it infield to Vitinha. Vitinha squares it to his left for Nuno Mendes. Barcola waiting on the left-hand side, but it's crossed over to the far post. Dembele across the face of goal and only just narrowly wide. Not sure whether he was going for goal or trying to find a teammate with the ball back across the face. As it was, it skewed off the outside of his right boot and only went just wide of Ter Stegen's right-hand post. Goal kick, 1-1 on the night, 4-3 in aggregate Barca.
I think he's trying to put that back across goal. Just having a look at his eye line, and then he goes, oh, it nearly went in. I think he just got that a little bit wrong. It almost squeezed in at the far post. Very, very close.
3 minutes of minimum stoppage time have gone as Lincoln City take the lead at Oxford United early in the second half. Remember, Lincoln started in 98th, Oxford in 6th. Daniel Mandrieu for Lincoln, who lost their first game in 17 at the weekend to Wigan Athletic on one hell of a run under former Leeds coach Michael Skubala. Here's Lewandowski for Barca at the end of this first half. Ball played in field looking for Pedri, one back by Paris Saint-Germain, and it's headed up to halfway, but Jules Koundé just steps in and hoofs it high into the Barcelona night sky, headed forward by Cancelo, but Marquinhos will deal with that and send it back to his keeper, the giant Donnarumma.
If this was two teams, Dance, in different kits, and you didn't know, you'd never guess it was PSG versus Barcelona, would you?
Not really. Forced out of play as it's given away by Paris Saint-Germain in their own defensive third. Marquinhos asking too much of Hakimi with the ball out to the right-hand side. So now Barcelona get a chance to hit a long throw into the PSG box right at the end of the half. But Cancelo elects to go short to Frenkie de Jong. Tries to flick it with the outside of his left boot. Wasteful from Cancelo. And Paris Saint-Germain should be able to clear their lines. Referee looks at his watch and puts his whistle to his mouth. He's going to bring the first half to a close in a minute, but wait a minute. Here come Paris Saint-Germain with Barcola. Plays the ball out to Mbappe. Left-hand corner of the box. Clips it down the left-hand side for Fabien Ruiz, who plays it back. And it's out of play for a corner which will not be taken because the referee blows for half-time after another frantic half of football. And maybe the comeback's on for Notts County against Stockport County. Macaulay Langstaff, top scorer in League 2 this season, has got one back for Notts. Notts County 1, Stockport 4. Stockport going to win the title in League 2 tonight. But we are back underway at the Olympic Stadium, Barcelona. No changes at the break from the teams that we had at the end of the first half. I'll run you through the lineups in just a moment. Paris Saint-Germain in their chain strip of all white with a red and blue bar across the chest. They're attacking the goal to our right. Barcelona in their traditional red and blue. As Atletico Madrid get an early goal at the start of the second half in Dortmund to bring that tie back level at 3 apiece. What a game they've got there in Dortmund.
I said last week, Dan, that the team that wins the Champions League is the team that defends best. You know, it's simple as that. They've all got unbelievable attacking prowess and attacking talent.
Well, here's Kylian Mbappe, one of the greatest attacking talents in world football, trying to work his way down the left-hand side of the box. Back heels the ball against Barcola. Wants a corner, but it's been given as a goal kick. So quickly the lineups for 10-man Barca. Ter Stegen, the goalkeeper. Koundé, Martinez, Kubasi and Cancelo in a back four still. Then De Jong, Gundogan, Pedri, Rafinha and Lewandowski make up the 9 outfield players. For Paris Saint-Germain, Donnarumma the keeper, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Lucas Hernandez and Mendes, Zaire Emery, Vitinha and Fabien Ruiz, Dembele, Mbappe and Barcola. So remember, if you're just tuning in, it's 1-1 on the night. Barcelona still have a 1-goal advantage on aggregate. 4-3 is the current aggregate scoreline. But as I was mentioning, they are down to 10 men with that first half red card issued to Ronald Araujo. And here come Paris Saint-Germain down the left-hand side with Barcola, who set up the equaliser for Dembele. Rolls it back and it finds Vitinha, centre of the Barcelona half. Plays it out to Dembele. Right-hand corner of the area. Tries to go slow and then quick to get past his man. Keeps possession by the corner flag and then wins a throw off Pedri, who stuck to his task pretty well. Crawley have equalised against Barrow. Their top scorer, Danilo Orsi, has brought them level down there in Sussex. Crawley 1, Barrow 1. And Notts County got a second against Stockport County. Maybe the comeback is on. Dan Crowley, former Arsenal man, has got them further back into the game. And it was an own goal from Mats Hummels that got Atletico back level on aggregate in Dortmund. Paris Saint-Germain in possession with Luka Hernandez. Leaves it for Vitinha, centre of the Barca half. Rolls it out to the ever-willing Barcola on the left wing. It goes back in field to Vitinha. Little run from Hakimi into the box, but Vitinha running with the ball into the left-hand corner of the box, then feeds it out left for Barcola. And Mbappe drops deep to pick up possession. Chips it back into midfield for Marquinhos, the captain. Hakimi moving up towards the edge of the area. Goes for goal, and uncertain goalkeeping from Ter Stegen. He turned it over the bar. He was going completely the opposite way to the way the ball went, and it didn't deviate. And somehow his left wrist turned it over the crossbar when that could easily have gone into the back of the net. Big stroke of luck for Ter Stegen, 1-1.
I've got no idea what he was doing, Dan, or what he was thinking there. I thought there had to be deflection, but there's no sign of it.
Vitinha with the cross to the far post. Barcola brings it down, tries to drive it goalwards, but there was a deflection, and that made the gather much easier for Ter Stegen that time. But the shot from Hakimi didn't take a touch off a Barca defender. It obviously moved, and Ter Stegen saw it late.
I don't think it did. Seen it from behind the goal. It didn't move enough for that to happen. Just a lapse in concentration, mate. Very, very lucky for Ter Stegen in the end.
Well, look, you said it, Danny Mills. The pattern of the game would be that it would be attack versus defence. Paris Saint-Germain looking to bring the tie level on aggregate. They've only got one goal to find to do that, and they're pushing already at the start of this second half. We played 4.5 minutes since the restart. 1-1 on the night, 4-3 on aggregate. Barcola again down the left-hand side for PSG, trying to go on the outside of Koundé. Good defending again from the French right back, and he plays it up to Lewandowski.
Lewandowski's caught him here,
and Lewandowski has been penalised for a foul on Hernandez, and he's going to get himself a yellow card.
Yeah, he knows what he's protecting himself. He had 3 challenges in the first half where defenders came through the back of him. If the ball chips up, he knows somebody's coming. He's got his arms out to protect himself.
Yeah,
and he just catches Luka Hernandez.
Yeah, on the side of the head with a forearm.
I think a yellow card's about right, because he's not gone with him. It's not a blatant elbow. He hasn't clenched his fist and given him one.
Yeah,
he's put his arms sort of across him to try and protect himself and catch him in the face.
1-1 here, 1-1 at the Poundland as well. Swindon equalised at Walsall. Paul Glatzel for the Robins to try and dent Walsall's late hopes of mounting a playoff challenge. Hakimi at 1-1 for Paris Saint-Germain. Tries to cross from the right-hand side. Deflected up in the air and headed clear by Gundogan. And his patience and calmness is going to be vital for Barcelona in this second half. Ilkay Gundogan.
Well, they're going to need it, because the pattern of the second half has started already. Barcelona struggling to get out of their half at times.
And their record here in the Champions League at the Olympic Stadium is impeccable, 100% so far.
How many games? Not many.
Well, 5. It's not bad though. Here's Dembele, who got the equaliser. Finds Mbappe inside the D. Plays it to his head. Fabian Ruiz drags it wide of goal. Massive chance for Paris Saint-Germain to take the lead on the night and draw level on aggregate. But Fabian Ruiz dragged his left foot shot the wrong side of the post. Goal kick.
Unselfish from Mbappe. A little bit surprised that he didn't take that on himself. Played it out wide, and Fabian Ruiz, he scuffs it. He tries too hard, with too much pace on it, digs it into the ground and pulls it well wide in the end.
Don't forget, once all these European ties are done, tonight, tomorrow night, Thursday, with the Europa League games, we're bringing you with the 3 English sides across the TalkSport network. Then Trans-Europe Express, Sunday night at 9 o'clock, is essential listening on TalkSport with Danny Kelly and Andy Brassel as they look to talk about all European football matters. And I guess they'll have a long chat about Kylian Mbappe, who I guess is auditioning for his inevitable move to Real Madrid with a performance in Spain tonight. But he's had a quiet night so far, as you just heard from Danny Mills there. Mbappe very unselfish in trying to set up Fabian Ruiz for that chance rather than go for goal himself.
I mean, it's great, isn't it? You know, we're now in the business end of the season. You know, some great, after you set up, get these European fixtures out of the way, some fantastic Premier League games, Championship, League One games, League Two games at the weekend, and next week again there's more. Arsenal-Chelsea after Chelsea's win last night, and they're in fantastic confidence. Arsenal, what will happen after the Champions League? Will there be a hangover from that? I mean, it's tough for Arsenal. They play Saturday night and then Tuesday next week, so that's a very, very quick.
Whilst Paris Saint-Germain were given the weekend off by the French Football Federation.
Well, and Spain often do that as well, don't they? Yeah. They play on a Friday night, or they help them out. So, I mean, it's just frantic right the way through to the end of the season.
8 minutes gone in the second half. Barcelona 1, PSG 1. PSG down the left-hand side with Fabian Ruiz. Plays the ball infield. Nuno Mendes finds Mbappe at the edge of the area with his back to goal. Zaire Emery with a good ball for Dembele. Tries to lift the ball from the right-hand corner of the area, but it's blocked behind for a corner by Cancelo. PSG's fourth corner of the night, and Dembele, as you can probably hear, is the man entrusted with taking it from the right-hand side.
Well, let's hope his corner's better than his last one, where he kicked it straight out of play.
Yes, it went straight into the side netting. He's elected to take it short and roll it infield to Hakimi, across to Vitinha. Space to try the ball. Goal! Oh, what a goal! Vitinha! What a way to bring your side level! Magical strike! 2-in-2 Champions League games for Vitinha. And that was a strike along the deck of real quality from 25 yards out that beat Ter Stegen. All ends up, it's 4-4 on aggregate. Paris Saint-Germain level on aggregate, ahead on the night, and we've still got over half an hour to play.
It's a magnificent hit, and I think this is because Barcelona are that player down. They've allowed Vitinha on the edge of the box have a little bit of freedom and space, thinking that he's no real danger. He must be 25 yards out, and he hits a right foot shot. He comes across it, and I think the wet surface, he just hits it into the surface a little bit. It skids up and flies into the far corner. Great strike, goalkeeper absolutely no chance.
So now Barcelona in possession at the edge of the area. Oh, it's just been fired wide by Gundogan from the edge of the area. I think that clipped the outside of the post.
It's very, very close. I mean, oh, it does, yeah. Great spot dance, absolutely superb. So unlucky. They've hardly been in the PSG half.
In fairness, that wasn't so much a spot. I just heard the clink of ball against upright in my headphones.
Well, good ears then, I would say. Better than mine.
There's people that would disagree with you about my hearing. Oh, now Xavi is going absolutely berserk on the top. He's just kicked. He's been sent off. He's just kicked the foam surrounds of the cameraman, whose camera's on the halfway line, stationed between the two technical areas. Xavi's seen something he doesn't like. He's kicked those bits of foam that protect the camera, and he's been sent off by this very officious referee from Romania, István Kovac. So Barcelona are down to 10 men, and now their manager's been dismissed.
Well, and if you're talking about dissent, I mean, I'm not sure Xavi made a tackle like that his whole career, if I'm honest. Amazing player that he was. Tackling wasn't, and kicking people wasn't his forte, was it? But I mean, he has that padded circle around the camera. He's just turned around and launched one of the pads right in front of the fourth official. You can understand it. It's blatant dissent, isn't it? Although also his coach, well, one of his coaches was booked at the end of the first half as well.
That's correct.
So if he starts to complain, he could have two coaches in the stand. I mean, it's just balmy, this game. Absolutely balmy, but so fascinating.
You're listening to Talk Sport 2 in the Champions League. Ian Danter and Danny Mills, we're both scratching our heads watching this one for you and wondering what on earth is going to happen next. 2-1 Paris Saint-Germain lead. It's 4-4 on aggregate. Here come Barcelona with Pedri down the left-hand side. Just wriggles past Zaire Emery. Cancelo on the overlap. Gets to the byline. Decent cross. Lewandowski climbs but can't get the strength he wants on the head. He was really having to lean back, and it just loops into the grateful arms of Donnarumma.
I mean, the game is so open. I thought Barcelona might sit in and try and be a little bit defensive.
Given away again. This time by Inigo Martinez. Forward comes Fabian Ruiz. Mbappe chips it into the area looking for Fabian Ruiz, who continued his run, but it was overhit by Mbappe. Tried a little pitching wedge over the top, and it just bounced through to Ter Stegen. And now Luis Enrique is fully invested in this and telling his players to calm down.
In the most exuberant way possible.
Yeah, in not a very calm fashion.
Yeah. I mean, it's just fascinating to
Bolton
watch.
2, Shrewsbury 2 in League One. Paris Macoma brings Bolton back level for a second time.
What do you think of Mbappe so far?
Quiet again.
Yes.
But he might get involved here as Barcola rolls the ball back to Zaire Emery, 25 yards out. Finds Dembele, right-hand corner of the boxes. First, that's not great. Challenged by Cancelo. Penalty given! It's all going against Barcelona right now. Cancelo penalised for a challenge on Dembele, whose first touch wasn't great. It invited the challenge, but Dembele got the ball away from Cancelo. The foul was committed, and it's a penalty for Paris Saint-Germain to try and take the lead in this tie.
Yeah, it's right, it's a penalty. It is. He doesn't get the ball, he comes through the back of Dembele. Dembele has a loose touch, and that encourages Cancelo to think he can go and win the ball. But Dembele just gets his left foot in between the ball and Joao Cancelo, who goes through the back of him. Penalty. This is definitely going to be given without a shadow of a doubt. Rash challenge from Cancelo. No need to make it.
The Manchester City loanee at Barcelona protests his innocence. VAR is obviously double checking it because Isvan Kovac is prowling around the penalty area with his finger to his ear. But Kylian Mbappe has spotted the ball down. He will take the responsibility from 12 yards to try and put Paris Saint-Germain ahead. The penalty will take place, and Kovac is now telling Marc-Andre Ter Stegen to stay on his goal line and not jiggle about, which is something that goalkeepers have been told to do since the start of the season. Ter Stegen knows that, and he's still play acting.
Yeah, but he can go sideways, can't he? He's not here. Isn't he get booked? He can go sideways as long as he don't come forward. But the referee was trying to tell him, and he was basically doing star jumps either side of him, wasn't he?
So, Mbappe against Ter Stegen for the chance to give Paris Saint-Germain the lead on aggregate in this second leg. He waits for the referee's whistle, checking for encroachment. Mbappe steps up, right-footed, and finds the roof of the net! And Paris Saint-Germain are now 5-4 up on aggregate. Mbappe, who's been quiet tonight, as he was in the first leg, cometh the hour, cometh the man. Mbappe's penalty, emphatic. It's Barcelona 1, Paris Saint-Germain 3.
Well, he's not quiet anymore, is he? He's quiet, and everybody else and everybody in this stadium. Camera zooms in on Joao Cancelo. It's a rash, needless challenge. He didn't need to make that challenge, but I think it's the poor touch from Dembele that sucks him into it. He suddenly thought, okay, I can maybe just get there and clear the ball. What a penalty. Calm as you like. Not quite top corner, but not far off it. Excellent power, excellent penalty from Mbappe.
That's 14 goals in 12 Champions League knockout ties. Never doubt that Kylian Mbappe can have an influence on a Champions League tie, even when he's as quiet, relatively speaking, as he has been over the course of the last game and a half.
And surely now that puts PSG in firm control of this tie. Goal up, man up. They can't lose it now.
They've brought in an extra striker now, Barca. They've taken off Pedri, who was only just back from injury anyway, and they brought on Ferran Torres, once of Manchester City. So now a yellow card coming Marquinhos' way for a challenge inside the PSG half of the field. And it's now 2-2 Borussia Dortmund, Atletico Madrid. Angel Correa has made it 2-2 on the night, so Atletico are now back in front on aggregate by 4-3. And a reminder here that Barcelona now find themselves behind on aggregate and a man down, 5-4 to PSG over the two legs. But now Barcelona have a free kick. Torres on to Pedri to add some more attacking intent. Xavi sent off, Araujo sent off. Free kick clipped in by Gundogan. It's brought down by Torres. He just couldn't get the shot away. He brought it down out of the sky unmarked, but he couldn't bring it down and get it in front of him to get the shot away, and that allowed a Paris Saint-Germain defender to get it clear for a corner. Amazing stuff.
I think he might have been offside anyhow, just went a fraction too early. It was almost like his touch was too good, kept it too close to his body, couldn't get that shot away.
Well, now Kabasi, the young centre-half, is getting involved with Donnarumma, who just puts his arm round him with a friendly gesture.
What's he said, grow up, lad?
Well, Donnarumma's a tall man. He's got to be the biggest man out there on the field.
There's not much age, there's not a huge age gap between them, is there?
25 to 17, so an 8-year gap. Donnarumma waits as Gundogan strikes the corner for Barca into the near post, headed out by Marquinhos, the captain. 63 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Barcelona 1, Paris Saint-Germain 3 on the night. 5-4 in aggregate. Barcelona coming forward with Gundogan. Goes down inside the area. He wants a penalty, and the referee says no.
He was looking for that. He was looking for that all the time. Need to see it again. I'm not convinced it was. I think he knew that he couldn't get past Coutinho with pace. No, he pulled out. Wow.
Well,
Coutinho pulls out of the challenge.
Does he catch the back of Gundogan's leg?
No, I think pulling out. I think, is it Marquinhos?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Gundogan runs into Marquinhos, in all fairness.
Goals elsewhere. Cheltenham Town lead Burton Albion in League One. That's a massive goal for the Robins. Curtis Davis has scored for Cheltenham, and Colchester doing all they can to try and get themselves safe in League Two. They now lead Grimsby by 2 goals to 0. John Akinde. Is that another Barcelona member of the coaching staff that's been dismissed?
I think it is. I don't know who it is this time.
And Gundogan's been booked as well for either dissent or simulation. I'm not sure which.
If Barcelona get through, they're going to have no coaches on the sideline. They're going to have no players, I think, at this rate.
Well, they had a few that were walking the yellow card tightrope tonight. De Jong, Yamal, who's been substituted, and Torres, who's just come on. Quite a few walking that tightrope for Paris Saint-Germain as well, notably Dembele. 25 minutes to go. 3-1 PSG, leading 5-4 on aggregate against 10-man Barcelona. What a night in Catalonia. And there's still plenty to come, but now Barcola is offside. He's got to be careful flicking the ball away like that. With this referee, a yellow card could easily be incoming for something like that.
25 minutes left.
Yeah.
It seems like we've been in the last 5 minutes
since the start of the game.
I know. It's just been incredible, isn't it? There's been no control from either team whatsoever.
Now Paris Saint-Germain in possession inside their own half. They have the aggregate lead, and they have the man advantage.
What are you thinking? I'm thinking another goal and another red card somewhere.
Well, Paris Saint-Germain are not exactly approaching this with calmness, it seems to me.
Well, they're not trying to kill the game, are they? They're not trying to control it and just keep the ball at the back and, suck Barcelona onto them. They're still just going for it.
Peterborough 2, Fleetwood 1, Archie Collins for the Posh. That could be just about it for Fleetwood United. In League One, they could be relegated tonight. And Cheltenham are winning at Burton. That is a big scoreline towards the bottom of League One. In League Two, looks like Mansfield are going up. Accrington do have a goal back at the one called. 2-1 now. Tommy Lee for Stanley to make it Mansfield 2, Accrington Stanley 1. A quarter of the 90 to go here on TalkSport 2 at the Olympic Stadium, Barcelona. Barcelona 1, PSG 3. That makes it 5-4 on aggregate to the Parisians. And Luis Enrique, back in the city where he played and managed Barcelona to such great distinction, is getting one over on his former employers. One back on halfway by Warren Zaire-Emery. Plays it out to the left-hand side, and Bradley Barcola clips it in field, and it's Mbappe who calmly lays it back to Nuno Mendes. Here's Vitinha, whose goal brought parity to this game with a brilliant right-footed strike from 25 yards out. Now Dembele, who won the penalty that saw Paris take the lead on aggregate, receives it right-hand corner of the penalty area, looks to drive past Inigo Martinez, And what's he won there, a throw or a corner? I think it's a throw down by the corner flag on this near side. And now Borussia Dortmund with 20 minutes to go are back level on aggregate. It's now 4-4. I think that's Niklas Füllkrug that's brought Dortmund level on aggregate. 3-2 on the night in the Westfalen, 4-4 in aggregate. 2 mad games in the Champions League again tonight.
And mad games last week as well. What has happened to defending?
Speaks a former defender.
Jose Mourinho won the Premier League conceding 15 goals. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I tell you what, any parent listening out there who's got a young child who wants to be a footballer, practice on their left foot and teach them how to defend, you've got a great chance. It's very, very difficult to become a professional footballer, but if you've got a left foot and you can defend, there's half a chance you'll make it these days.
Just seen that goal from Füllkrug. It's a great header flying across the face of goal that has Dortmund back level on aggregate, so they're heading for extra time in Germany. Barcelona have got to try and find a goal to force extra time here in the Olympic Stadium. 68 minutes gone. PSG 3-1 up on the night, 5-4 up on aggregate, and they have a corner taken short by Dembele. Rolled back to Vitinha from pretty much the area where he scored 10 minutes or so ago. But he rolls it to his left and Nuno Mendes. Now it's gone out to the left wing and Barcola. Marquinhos calling for a cross. In it comes, but a good claim by Ter Stegen on his 6-yard line, the Barca keeper. Bowls it out early, but won back by Paris Saint-Germain. Gundogan was muscled out of it. Hakimi finds Mbappe approaching the corner of the penalty area. Looks to outpace his compatriot Koundé. Fires it across the face of goal, but can't find Barcola. And Barcelona survive. But that's a poor clearance from Cancelo. Straight to Fabian Ruiz across the 18-yard line. Hakimi calms things down at the right-hand corner of the box. Now played back to Zaire Emery. Rolls it in field for Vitinha. Vitinha looks up, plays it back out to the inside left channel and Nuno Mendes. Vitinha calmly goes back to halfway, and Lucas Hernandez. Barcola receives it now out on the left wing. Better passing from Paris Saint-Germain at the moment. They're keeping the ball better and for longer spells. Mbappe goes back to the halfway. Marcel Sabitzer looks to have put Borussia Dortmund ahead on the night. 5-4 now on aggregate. 4-2 in Dortmund on the night. Marcel Sabitzer, who was at Manchester United last year.
Yeah. I mean, when was the last time Atletico conceded 4 goals in a game?
Yeah, Diego Simeone must be scratching that curly barnet of his, wondering what on earth am I involved in. 20 minutes to go here in the Olympic Stadium, and the outcome isn't quite set yet here, although Paris Saint-Germain are 5-4 up and they are a man up. 3-1 up on the night, the Parisians, and they have that 1-goal aggregate lead. What have Barcelona got left in this final 20 minutes with a man down? Hakimi, fouled by Ferran Torres as he tried to bulldoze his way down the right-hand side, and so it's a free kick.
So much has happened, Dan. It feels like there's a minute to go, doesn't it? It's 20 minutes plus injury time.
Imagine if we get the extra half hour.
Well, I wouldn't normally want that, Dan, so I'd like to get home, at a reasonable hour. But this game is so ridiculous. I think I'll take it tonight.
Bristol Rovers lead Cambridge by a 1-0. Chris Martin, the veteran, for the Gas. Cambridge only 6 points ahead of the drop zone going into tonight. That won't help them, although Port Vale level with Wickham last time I checked, as they try and get out of the bottom 4 in League One. Fleetwood almost
Wickham winning 2-1.
Wickham are now 2-1 up. Indeed, Nigel Lonvite has just scored for Wickham to keep Port Vale in the bottom 4. Now we've got 72 minutes gone in the Olympic Stadium. Is Barcelona 1, Paris Saint-Germain 3 on the night. 5-4 to the Parisians. Here's Nuno Mendes on halfway. Plays a neat 1-2, carries it down the inside left channel, tries to throw it through for Mbappe, but it's just overhit by the Portuguese. Walsall back in front against Swindon as they bid to get involved in the League 2 playoffs. Danny Johnson with a late winner maybe at the Poundland for Walsall. 2-1 they lead. Free kick for Barcelona. They've got to find a goal from somewhere in these last 17 and a half minutes. Rafinha
He's hardly touched the ball as he
plays the ball inside to Lewandowski, into the D, great save, and somehow cleared away by Marquinhos as Ferran Torres came in on the follow-up. Suddenly it opened up for Lewandowski, but he brought a great save out of Donnarumma.
What a clearance that is from Marquinhos. That's unbelievable. That's as good as a goal. Absolutely fantastic. He was there to help out his goalkeeper. Lewandowski hits it left foot. Donnarumma gets down left hand side, a strong hand, but it just pops back straight into the middle of the goal. And just as Ferran Torres thinks he's going to tuck it away, Marquinhos comes across, stretches out with his right boot and clears it. A fantastic clearance.
It just opened up for Robert Lewandowski like the parting of the Red Sea at the edge of the D as he moved forward. Paris Saint-Germain defenders seem to step away from him. Oh, Portsmouth look like they've won it to seal promotion. 3-2 they lead at Fratton Park. They've come from behind. Conor Shaughnessy with what looks like the winner at Fratton Park. Ball's back without Marc-Andre ter Stegen, the Barcelona keeper. Ball played into the feet of Lewandowski. He's come really deep to pick up possession for his side, midway point of his own half. And he's just had that brilliant chance to bring 10-man Barcelona back level on aggregate. Flicked on by Ferran Torres on halfway. Cancelo gives chase, but it's the other number 2 out there, Achraf Hakimi, who gets there first. Donnarumma, though, hassled into the clearance by Rafinha, who's now whipping up the locals to give Barcelona some support for this last quarter hour. Ball played up to halfway, but a poor pass from Lewandowski, trying to fire it out to this near side, the left wing, but couldn't find anybody in a red and blue shirt. So instead it's a throw to Paris Saint-Germain. But that chance for Lewandowski there shows Danny Mills that this game is by nowhere near done and dusted yet.
And there's at least 15 minutes to go. You know, the drama is not done yet in this game, nowhere near.
Out to the left-hand side, Bradley Barcola, who's seen a lot of possession, tries to go on the outside of Koundé, gets past him, but back came Kubasi, the young 17-year-old defender, making only his 14th start for Barcelona tonight in a Champions League quarter-final, and he puts the ball out of play for a throw. There's a double change being readied by Luis Enrique for Paris Saint-Germain. Kang In Lee is one of those who's going to be coming on to help bolster the defensive midfield ranks of Paris Saint-Germain, but we'll get back to that in a moment, because meantime it's a throw to Paris Saint-Germain, but Nuno Mendes can't keep hold of it. It's gone out of play for a goal kick. So here come the changes, and coming off for Paris Saint-Germain, Bradley Barcola's really put a shift in, but he's coming off to allow the South Korean Kang In Lee to come on. Joined from Mallorca in July, former Valencia player, the South Korean, and the other player going off is Fabian Ruiz, and that will allow Marco Asensio, who played up front as a false 9 in the first leg, to come on for these last 13 minutes or so here on TalkSport 2, with Paris Saint-Germain protecting a 1-goal aggregate lead. Fascinating climax to come. It's a corner to PSG on the far side, taken short to Kang In Lee by Dembele, and Dembele receives it back level with the edge of the area, whips the ball in right footed, but it's too deep for anybody in a white PSG shirt. Goal kick Barca. Danny Mills.
I think Luis Enrique will be absolutely desperate for his team just to calm down, just to settle down a little bit. They're winning the game, they're in control, they're a man up. There's no need to keep pushing constantly and leave themselves fractionally exposed at the back when Barcelona only got 10 men.
Ferran Torres plays a neat 1-2 with Rafinha. Finds Rafinha again at the edge of the area, rolls his marker, angles tight, drags it across the face of goal and wide for a goal kick. But another example of the fact that the jeopardy is still there from Barcelona's attacking front three. Still 3-1 to Paris on the night, 5-4 in aggregate.
It's a great chance. I thought he was going to go down. He has a fantastic touch. He goes between the two defenders and he just pulls his shot wide on his left foot. But you're right, goes to show, even with 10 men, they're still creating chances, but it's terrible defending, isn't it? 2-on-1, and he just goes through the middle of them.
Well, that was a bit like what I saw Matthias Cunha do for Wolves at Nottingham Forest on Saturday, getting between two players and scoring a cracker from a tight angle. Stockport County are champions of League Two. They've beaten Notts County 5-2 at Meadow Lane. Congratulations to them. Here's Ousmane Dembele for Paris Saint-Germain. He's won a corner, trying to strike from 25 yards out, deflected out by Gundogan for a corner which I'm sure PSG will take their time over striking to the box, and they've got another substitute ready. Have PSG. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Adrian Durham will be happy. I think Peterborough now 3-1 up.
Indeed they are.
That guarantees them playoffs minimum, doesn't it?
Yeah. And we all know what happened to Peterborough in last year's playoffs, courtesy of Sheffield Wednesday's extraordinary comeback.
Don't bring that up.
Well, he can't hear me. Here's Dembele, right-hand side, plays the ball in field to Lee. Across to Nuno Mendes, who thought about a shot for a moment, but finds Kylian Mbappe left-hand corner of the area. Little overlap down the left-hand side of the area. Couldn't find him, and it's fired downfield by Ter Stegen, but only Ferran Torres up on the halfway line for Barca, and he couldn't win the header. And Kangin Lee, must be two of them out there, because he was down by the corner flag a minute ago, and there he is. Guarding the ball back to Donnarumma. Just over 10 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Barcelona 1, Paris Saint-Germain 3 on the night in the Champions League, live on TalkSport 2 with Village Hotels. Visit villagehotels.com. Danny Mills alongside me. Bolton and Shrewsbury have drawn 2 apiece, so that one game in hand that Bolton had on Derby means they're now 3 points off the Rams. So Derby fans will be happy with that Shrewsbury have done their bit. Now they are making a defensive midfield change here. They're bringing on the Uruguayan Manuel Ugarte for Warren Zaire-Emery, our Paris Saint-Germain, and that is definitely a move from Luis Enrique to tighten things up. Danny Mills.
I'm just surprised it's taken him this long to do that, in all honesty, because Barcelona have still had 3 good chances in this second half since they've been down to 10 men.
And here they are again, 10 minutes to go, and it's all or nothing for Barcelona. A man down, but Cancelo looks to swing the ball across to Rafinha. Paris Saint-Germain get the ball clear. Hakimi inside his own half, plays it to Vitinha. Now works into midfield, and Ugarte gets his first touch.
How late was the goal when Barcelona turned it around?
13 minutes to go.
Right.
Not as late as it is right now. I think it was 77 minutes when Christensen headed Barca in front at the Parc des Princes.
No, I mean in the when they had the huge turnaround.
That was 96 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that was late, wasn't it?
Sergio Roberto.
So there's still time.
Dead right. They needed 3 goals in that tie against Paris Saint-Germain with a minute to go of normal time. And then I think there was a penalty, a free kick. Neymar was brilliant.
If only they had him now.
He actually stole the limelight from Messi for once that night. And here come Barca down the right-hand side with Rafinha. Wants of Leeds United up against Nuno Mendes. Wants a throw, but the throw's been given to PSG instead. Walsall have beaten Swindon 2-1. Bristol Rovers 1-0 victors over Cambridge United. Double change for Barcelona. João Felix coming on for Jacques Cancelo, so one Portuguese for another. And the other change for Barcelona is about to be made. They're just holding up the board to make sure it's right. Frenkie de Jong is being taken off, and that will allow Fermin Lopez, a 20-year-old from the Barca Youth Academy. He's going to come on in his place. Scored 2 Champions League goals this season, Fermin Lopez.
Well, what a time it would be to score his third. We're just getting pictures of Xavi in a box. He can't really influence the game in any way, shape or form.
He most certainly cannot.
He must have some sort of communication.
Well, they do, don't they? Have the telephone communication. I'm sure is still permitted.
Well, if not, I'm sure they've got somebody running up and down the stairs.
Peterborough 4, Fleetwood 1. Johnson Clark-Harris extends Peterborough's lead at the end of that game. Here come Paris Saint-Germain, 3-1 up on the night, 5-4 up on aggregate, but Hakimi can't ride the challenge of Fermin Lopez, and it's just hoof downfield, asking for Ferran Torres to give chase. Nuno Mendes very smartly lets the ball run across his body and then brings it clear. Colchester have beaten Grimsby at the foot of League 2. That's a massive result for the Cowley brothers in charge of the U's at the job serve. 7 minutes to go, and there's still belief around the Olympic Stadium that Barcelona can get themselves level on aggregate, but they need one goal to do that. But they're a man down. João Felix, freshly onto the field, goes down, and he's won a free kick. Late decision for the referee, but a free kick it is. And Barcelona will load the box, I'm sure.
They've got no option now, have they? They've got to get real quality into the box. We saw last time when Christensen came on, got a free header. And PSG have got to defend much better. It's a wide free kick. It's going to be put in towards the back post, you would think. So, the free kick is out on the right-hand side for Barcelona, about 5 yards from the corner of the penalty area. Rafinha's going to strike it left-footed. Do not be offside. Do not get yourselves in offside position. PSG are holding their line just inside the 18-yard line. Massive moment in the game. 6 minutes to go. Barcelona need a goal to bring things level on aggregate. Rafinha to take the free kick. In it comes from him, lofted up to Lewandowski. The keeper came and missed it, and it's been given as an offside flag. There was a Barcelona player ahead of the last defender when the kick was taken, which is exactly what Danny Mills, you heard, say, don't do it, and it was Lewandowski the guilty party. He's better than that. He's far more experienced than that. I know they're desperate to score a goal, but you know that you cannot take a risk and be offside in that situation. Well, Donnarumma came and missed it anyway. Portsmouth have beaten Barnsley. Congratulations to Portsmouth, back in the Championship after over a decade away. Wickham have beaten Port Vale at Vale Park, keeping Vale in the bottom four and staring at the trapdoor down to League 2. And Fleetwood need snookers, don't they? They do, unfortunately. 4-1, that's finished. Peterborough have won to confirm their spot in the playoffs. Remember the Champions League tomorrow night. I think these games have been mad tonight, with Dortmund 4-2 up and 5-4 in aggregate. And this one here with also a 5-4 aggregate scoreline in Paris Saint-Germain's favour. Tomorrow we got Arsenal and Manchester City live in their Champions League quarter-final second legs. And there was 10 goals in those games. I can't see those being clean sheets either. Here's Barcelona coming forward with Lewandowski holding the ball up 25 yards out. Rolls it back to Gundogan. Plays it to his left. And Inigo Martinez. Rafinha makes a run. Ball's clipped into the box ahead of Fermin Lopez, who's not the tallest and was never going to reach that header. And the ball's just dribbled out of play for a Paris Saint-Germain goal kick. 4 minutes of normal time remaining. It is still Barcelona 1, Paris Saint-Germain 3. 5-4 in aggregate. Wow, what next? But Barca just look like they've run out of ideas. When they get into the final third, it's like, how are they going to create something? The referee has just told Donnarumma to get on with it as he clips the ball downfield and it bounces out of play. Nuno Mendes couldn't keep it in play. Could be new sanctions next year, can't they? Or we talk about with the goalkeeper rule, the 6-second rule, and goalkeepers wasting time, which I think is better actually. I think, yeah, maybe it's right, the fact that the 6-second rule has never been invoked. I think it's probably once. They tried it. It's like that rule where they tried advancing the free kick 10 yards further forward for descent. But it's still there in the rules of the game. Yeah. It's still, but no referee, because I think a bit of you holding the ball 6 seconds, giving it an indirect free kick in the box, a shot on goal, causes absolute mayhem. So I think actually right, give a corner. That certainly gives Barcelona win it back. Lewandowski ready towards the edge of the area. Options right and left. Goes for goal himself, and he's blocked behind for a corner kick by Ugarte. A bit selfish from Lewandowski, and his teammates look exasperated as he didn't slip anybody else in. He had Ferran Torres to his right. I think he had Gundogan to his left.
but Lewandowski went for glory himself and didn't get it.
It's more than a bit selfish, Gantz. I mean, that's a poor decision. He's got Ferran Torres. If he just rolls it into him, he's then one-on-one. He's just got to slip it into the net. Simple as that. He tries and blasts it through two defenders. That's a really poor decision from one of the top strikers in the world.
Ousmane Dembele, against his old club, has now been substituted, and Randal Kolo Muani, the French international, is on to replace him. First thing he's got to do is help defend this Barcelona corner. Whips in by Rafinha, tipped away from under the crossbar by Donnarumma. That was almost going in.
Has he gone for goal there, do you think? It sort of looks like it, isn't it? He's whipped it with some pace.
Another corner taken. Gundogan rolls it back to the edge of the box. Can't find Fermin Lopez. Desperate clearance, but away come Paris Saint-Germain. And it's Achraf Hakimi. Two to his left. One of them's Mbappe. Inside the area. Hits it straight at Ter Stegen. Comes down to the edge of the area. What a save, Ter Stegen. But driven in. Mbappe seals the tie. His second of the night. That is surely it. Barcelona are going out to the Champions League, and once again Kylian Mbappe is the man that is knocking them out, as he did in the Camp Nou 3 years ago. He's scoring goals to dump Barca out. It's now 6-4 on aggregate, and Mbappe has his second and the Parisians fourth, and the counter-attack finally had its climax.
Absolutely incredible. I'm almost speechless from what has happened in this game. The counter-attack, Hakimi's down the right-hand side. I think it's 4-on-2. The ball comes into Mbappe and you think he's got to score. It's a poor shot and it goes straight into Stegen. But then Barcelona somehow don't manage to clear the ball. And then
Asensio has a shot.
Yeah, but and it's another save, and then there's a terrible clearance that I think hits somebody. The first shot is saved. The second shot from Asensio is saved. And then there's a clearance. Oh, it hits his own man.
Yes, Koundé
smashes it against his own defender, and it falls to Mbappe, who then, well, from 6 yards out, it's not the cleanest of strikes, but it's into the back of the net, and that's the game over.
Make that 15 goals in 12 Champions League knockout ties for the talisman of Paris Saint-Germain, Kylian Mbappe, as we move into 7 minutes of added time. And now Barcelona have got to find 2 goals to force extra time. But the ball's out of play for a Paris Saint-Germain throw. Southampton have beaten Preston by 3-0 in the Championship to keep tabs on the top 3. Dortmund are seconds away from knocking out Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. They are 4-2 up on the night, 5-4 up on aggregate, with seconds to go in the Westfalenstadion. Cheltenham have a massive result in League One. They've beaten Burton at the Pirelli by 2-1. And Borussia Dortmund are there. They've done it. They've beaten Atletico Madrid. So both Spanish sides in the Champions League going out, Danny Mills, as things stand. And the coefficient won't be helped for the Spaniards with that. But it's all about Paris Saint-Germain desperate to lift the famous trophy for the first ever time in their history. They've reached a final but never got all the way.
Well, they aren't going to win it playing like this, Dance. They're going to have to be a lot better defensively.
We are all set for a Paris Saint-Germain Dortmund semi-final as things stand. Dortmund are through. Barcelona have got to find 2 goals in 5 stoppage time minutes from this point on, and Paris Saint-Germain have possession.
Not happening. Not going to happen. But the semi-final, Dortmund versus PSG, could be 6 each.
It could well be.
Again, if I was a betting man, I'd say both teams to score in both legs of that.
There are tears, unfortunately, amongst Barcelona fans we can see on our monitors in the stands, who realise that the dream of a 6th Champions League title is all but gone for Xavi and his side. Xavi long since leaving the scene, sent off by the referee, and here come Paris Saint-Germain again with Mbappe, who's on a hat-trick, gets to the edge of the area, doesn't get the hat-trick because of a great save by Ter Stegen, but my word, he hit that with some power, killing Mbappe.
Fantastic strike. He's almost been anonymous, hasn't he? He gets the penalty, and then he gets that tapping after a little bit of luck and some poor defending.
Gundogan for Barcelona. Oh, it's a pass intended for João Felix, but it was underhit and intercepted by Hakimi.
But how it changes, Dance. Lewandowski had that opportunity to slip in Ferran Torres, and he didn't.
Yes.
He was too selfish. He went for glory, where Torres was in a much better position than he was, probably would have scored, and then seconds later, up the other end, and it's game over.
I think there was an option to his left as well, Lewandowski. It might have been Gundogan that was up there with play, but nevertheless, Lewandowski thought he was the man for the job. But as it turns out, 3 minutes of the minimum 7 have elapsed. It's still Barcelona 1, Paris Saint-Germain 4 on the night, 6-4 on aggregate to Luis Enrique's side. And Paris Saint-Germain are in possession with Achraf Hakimi. And he tries to get a header away from João Felix, one back by Rafinha deep inside his own half for Barca. They've got to find 2 goals from somewhere. Fermin Lopez just hits it long downfield, aiming for João Felix, comfortably headed clear by Marquinhos. Picked up though for Barcelona by Gundogan, just inside the Paris Saint-Germain half of the field. Little touch from João Felix, but in steps Ugarte, doing the job he does well. The Paris Saint-Germain just stick-footed and the ball ricocheted back into the path of Gianluigi Donnarumma. So Dortmund are through, and PSG as good as through to meet the Germans in the semi-final.
I know whoever makes it to the final, it's a one-off game.
At Wembley, let's not forget, on June the 1st.
But looking at the 2 ties in this half of the draw, Dortmund now, PSG, whoever gets to the final from the other half is going to fancy their chances. They're going to be massive favourites, I think.
Throw into Barcelona just past the halfway line. It would appear that the game is up, and a lot of supporters realise that you can hear the lack of noise around the stadium. Rafinha fires it into the chest of Lewandowski, couldn't control it with his back to play 25 yards out, and Donnarumma just strolls out to the left-hand side of his penalty area to collect the loose ball. Will now trot to the edge of his area and will clear from hands and waste a few more seconds. Downfield it goes from Donnarumma. It'll bounce away from Nuno Mendes, who handled it, actually trying to keep possession. Free kick to Barcelona, to be taken by Jules Koundé, who clips it infield looking for the flick of Lewandowski, but again Marquinhos is there. Good strong header from the Brazilian at the heart of the Paris Saint-Germain defence. He's played well tonight at times, Marquinhos. He's putting that vital interception at one point in the second half.
Yeah, a vital interception at a vital time, and sometimes a clearance like that is as good as a goal. You know, it's simple as that. It often gets overlooked, but if he doesn't make that and the goal goes in, suddenly they're on the back foot.
Mbappe caught offside down the right hand side into the final minute of the minimum 7 that the Romanian referee added on, and the free kick was taken from the wrong place by Rafinha, and he's had a bit to say to the referee. That's a yellow card for Rafinha for too much back chat.
Thought he was going to get another one out then, didn't you?
Well, me too. And he is going to get another one because he's continuing with his protest. Oh no, he's just getting the final warning there from Mr. Kovac.
No, I think that's good refereeing, in all honesty.
Boy, oh boy.
He's booked him for dissent and an argument, and then he said, look, if you do one more, and you're going to get a red.
Flick on by Lewandowski. Paris Saint-Germain win the ball back. Ugarte is wrestled to the ground by Fermin Lopez. He gets a yellow card. And Paris Saint-Germain dummy taking the free kick quickly. The 7 minutes of minimum stoppage time are up. It's now down to the referee. And the full-time whistle has gone.